My name is Stacy. As you can see, I grew up without a mother. My father and I have lived together all my adult life, and if you think that I'm sad to remember the past, you are mistaken. My mother died when I was less than a year old. Her death was unexpected, but still, she was ill for several months. During this short time, my mother's entourage, including my father, had time to mentally prepare themselves. Don't think it sounds cruel or cynical. That's life, right?
You must be strong, fearless. Don't be afraid of anything. Never be afraid of anything. Because fear is a weakness, and weakness is an unaffordable luxury for us. That's what my father told me and my brothers. Only the absence of fear helps to soberly assess the situation and will not let you get lost in life. My father raised me as best he could. He had no idea how to raise girls because he had all the boys in his family. His mother also died early when his father was still young, so he was raised by his father. My dad always believed in one thing: bravery. He believed that only a brave person would be able to challenge fate, achieve success in this way, and so on. Hit harder, more. Hit harder. Breathe properly and always feel your opponent. If you feel your fear and not the other way around, you've already lost. Therefore, do not be afraid of anything.
Hello, Mr. Byron.
Oh, Rosie, Farrell, how are you? Have you changed your mind about learning to box yet?
No, thank you. I signed up for drawing.
Farrell, if you were my son, I wouldn't give you a brush. Better combat gloves. If you are attacked, what will you do?
Hiding behind your daughter, sir. Hi, guys. Dad, stop embarrassing them. I will take a walk and come back. Guys, give me 3 minutes to change. I didn't have many friends, but I had two of the most loyal. The friend's name was Rosie and the friend's name was Farrell. We were at Trinity. Everyone called us that because we spent all our free time together. My friend called me the bravest person in the company because I was. I remember that once we decided to take a walk in the woods with the guys, I wanted to have a picnic. Farrell, did you bring a knife with you?
Why? You said you would cut the sandwiches at home.
For protection from wild animals, stupid.
Don't you think they will attack us? But, but I thought it was safe there.
We are going to the woods, not your room. And how did you get hired as a scout in the first place? Rosie, leave him alone. You know, the only reason he got into the scouts is because his father is a police officer. But our Farrell wouldn't hurt a fly. If a wild boar attacks us, Farrell is more likely to feed it with his food but not harm the animal.
What's wrong with not liking to hurt someone?
My friend, it's not that you don't like hurting someone. You're afraid to do that, right?
Are you saying I'm a coward? It's not my fault that my self preservation instincts work with double force. But you don't have any, Stacy.
They are, but I have no sense of fear. That's how my father raised me. I'm not afraid of anything since I was a child. You can't argue with that.
Stacy, you are just a Terminator.
You wanted to say thank you. You have always fearlessly saved us. You are welcome, you know. I don't know anything else except not to be afraid and fight back.
I wish I had some of your fearlessness. Is there nothing in the world that you are afraid of?
No, I'm not afraid of anything, and that makes me invulnerable. I walked up to the house and saw the porch light on. My father never left it on in the evening, and I felt so strange. The closer she got to the house, the faster her heart beat. I even touched it, but I didn't know what it meant. Then I saw the door to the house was ajar and a hand was visible. The ambulance arrived in a couple of minutes. The doctor said that the father was not breathing and began to do heart massage and artificial respiration. I thought I was going crazy. For the first time in my life, I was gripped by fear, a sense of loss. And even though my father had prepared me for many things, I wasn't ready for this. The time dropped down forever, and I stood up nearby and cried with fear, with confusion, with the fact that I didn't know what would happen next. I suddenly remembered how my father had steeled my character since I was a child.
Don't be afraid of anything. You must be strong. Do not show fear to anyone, otherwise, you will be defeated,
He said. It was only at that moment that I realized that there are several types of fear, and fear for loved ones, no one can ever overcome it. Am I right? There is a pulse. Breath appeared. Oxygen mask now. Girl, are you his daughter? We'll take him to the hospital, the doctor said. And I got into the ambulance and next to my father, and such a heavy weight has fallen from my heart. He's breathing. Only these two words had meaning, and only they managed to banish my main fear, the fear of losing my father forever.
Stacy, wake up.
Dad, are you awake? Are you feeling better? I will get a doctor right away.
Don't. Don't. I feel better. I just wanted to see you.
Dad, the doctor said you had a heart attack. Why didn't you tell me about your heart problems?
I didn't mean to scare you.
Really? You raised me to be fearless.
When a skunk attacks in the woods, it's one thing. When a closer person is another. Sorry, daughter. I wanted with all my heart to prepare you for life so that you would not suffer as I did. When my mother died, I wasn't ready. I was scared, very scared, and I promised myself that my children would never know what fear was. And only now I understand that it is impossible to avoid fear for your loved ones.
If you tell me everything about your health, I won't be so afraid. At least I will be ready.
Agreed.
I hugged my father and cried again. Amazing, isn't it? Even the bravest heart is afraid of losses. So do not waste time on training. It's better to spend these moments next to your loved ones. Tell me, did you guys like my story? Write your opinion about it in the comments below the video. Do not forget to put likes, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.
Hello, my name is Austin. This will seem incredible to you, but what I'm about to tell you is true. A few years ago, I realized something and it was a shock to others, but for me, just my life. And it began uneasily, or rather, not quite as usual as many of you. I was born an old man. My parents got married at 43. They are the same age. They had a lot of health problems. My mother had to stay in hospitals to give birth to me, but they really wanted a baby. At first, everything went according to plan. When the due date came, my mother was admitted to the hospital and had a cesarean section. She couldn't give birth on her own because of doctors' concerns, so we decided to make it safe. And now, a boy weighing almost 4 kilograms was born. Everyone praised my mother for being able to bear a big baby. The doctors said that I didn't look like all newborns, and even then they noticed that I looked like a 1-month-old baby. My mother named me Austin after my grandfather, and I look like him, by the way. When we were released from the hospital, my mother devoted all her time to me. She didn't hire a nanny. She wanted to take care of herself. My father was on the contrary. He worked and provided for us. Every month, my mother took pictures of me and was surprised to see how much my appearance changed. I looked older and older. It wasn't until 6 months later that I started to get hair on my head, which scared my mother, because they were gray. My father said it was just the color of my hair, but my mother didn't believe me and took me to the hospital. I took tests after which the doctors collected almost a consultation. They couldn't believe what their eyes were seeing. They thought that the tests were mixed up and asked to take a second one. Only then did they finally tell my mother that I was in poor health. Your son has tests like an old man. He has a weak body, which is why he is so slow to develop. He is weak and lacks vitamins, they told their mother. They also added that I probably won't live a year, but they were wrong. After these conversations, my mother began to feed me healthy food. In addition to milk, she bought vitamins, often walked with me in the fresh air, gave me water, and did a full body massage every day. I was growing up. I was already 2 years old. My mother believed that it was a miracle and because of her faith in the best. Even though I looked like a real old man, she loved me. I had a wrinkled body. I could barely walk. I only had a few teeth, and I spoke slowly and quietly. Everyone laughed at us, including the neighbors, what they didn't say behind our backs. Finally, my mother's patience ran out, and she and my father decided to move somewhere else to save me from gossip. They chose a place far away from the city, where there were no neighbors, mostly fields nearby. I spent my entire childhood there, the three of us living together and never letting anyone else into my life. Despite my frightening appearance, my mom and dad loved me very much, as I loved them. And now I was 10 years old. By that time, I was stronger, taller, more confident. My father taught me to read and write. I talked at full speed, and my vision improved. I tried to help my parents with household chores. I didn't really play with the children, just because I was bored with them. I liked to sit with my parents at dinner and talk. My mother watched my new achievements and was happy. Later, they decided that I was just special. And the fact was that my body was growing and getting younger. Over the years, I became taller, more beautiful, younger. My wrinkles disappeared from my face. My teeth grew. My bones got stronger. I felt it. My hair had grown on my head, and it wasn't gray, but black, and it glistened and curled slightly. Closer to 17, I looked 30 years old, and it was fantastic. Parents also did not keep in touch with anyone, so that there were no unnecessary questions. We lived our lives, that's all. I also studied at home, actively helped my father with chores, and my mother around the house. The only bad thing was that my parents were getting older, unlike me. It was sad to watch them grow old. Their hair turns gray, they become weaker, their memory, body, and brain become weaker. My mother explained that this is a normal process and always reminded me how our body works. Then one day they decided to take me to the city. My parents showed me that the whole world did not agree on a house. They showed and told me that there are other people. There are many of them. Everyone has their own life. They showed me that there are buildings almost up to the sky. Supermarkets, metro, taxis. I, of course, did not grow up a savage. I saw everything on TV, but live, I saw it for the first time. In my subconscious, I knew that they were doing all this for a reason. They were preparing me for an independent life, because whenever I would be left alone. After that day, they often asked me to drive myself. So I learned more and more about the world and watched everything with great interest. A year later, I met a girl named Victoria, and we are now dating. Victoria knows about me. I showed her the photo, and she talked to my mother. Oddly enough, she was not afraid of my natural origin. On the contrary, I am also special to her. I found a job in the city, although I don't have a higher education, but I am physically strong, so I found a job where I need to work. I got a job as a loader in a company. Every year I feel a surge of strength and energy, and I'm glad that I found the right channel where I can direct it. A year later, my parents died, and I got younger. Victoria persuaded me to sell my house and move to the city so that we could work and live together in peace. I agreed. I bought a small apartment where we lived together. Vicky was actually older than me, even though we looked about the same age. Although, to be honest, I don't know how old I really am. We both worked and were happy, but we couldn't have children. We got engaged and started treatment, and we went to all the hospitals, but it wasn't about her, it was about me. We decided not to lose heart, but to save money for one medical procedure. So another 4 years passed. I became noticeably younger, and Victoria aged. Every night, she would look in the mirror and wipe away her tears when I approached, but I could see that she was upset. I couldn't help it. Vicky said that she would like to stop time, but our life clock is ticking in different directions and it's hard for her. I knew I was taking up her time, so I decided to leave. In the morning, I packed my things and never saw her again. No, I loved her very much, but I just can't bear to see her wasting her life with me. Seeing you grow old and your man grow younger must be terrible. Since then, I've decided to live on my own. Since I don't have any children and can't have any, I left my apartment to her and went off on my own. I've been around 10 states, and I've lived in each of them for a while, but I didn't stay long enough to tie myself to people or them to me. It's more convenient when you belong only to yourself. How old am I now, you may ask, but to tell you the truth, I don't know. My face looked like a teenager, and I even got pimples. I do not know what will happen next. Perhaps at some point my body will just fall asleep. Now I am more and more often ill with the flu or a cold. I think the thing is that my body is once again being rebuilt. I am grateful to my parents for accepting me like this, teaching me how to live, survive, and fully prepare me for independence. You know, I've heard that there's a similar story, like mine is almost exactly the same, but it's real. I don't want a lot of fame or gossip around me, because I will be uncomfortable, much more comfortable to live like this, quietly and peacefully. I plan to continue traveling in the company of myself. One thing is good when you're young. A lot of things seem so accessible, and it helps me not to sit still. Who knows? I may have seen you, and you may have seen me. I've worked everywhere. So, friends, live happily ever after, and most importantly, value your time.